everybody. Today we're gonna just go ahead and go over a really easy tutorial on how to create your cover and your covers and also your binding as well as your hinge for a mini album. And you can utilize this tutorial for any size that you want. Just adapt, of course, the inches, how big your mini album is going to be or whatever, but this will be the basic instructions. I've had a lot of people ask me how to do this, and there is a ton of tutorials on YouTube that provide you some really great ideas and ways to do this, but this is the simplest, easiest way that I have found to do it. I actually want to give a shout out to my sister Scrapper. That's who I learned a lot about making mini albums and folios and page inserts and everything. I will link her YouTube channel down below in my video description, and stop by and show her some love because she's amazing and her tutorials are super easy to follow. But that's basically where I learned from. It's from her, as well as other YouTubers. So let me just go over here and let's show you what you're going to need. You're going to need chipboard. Right now, this is heavy chipboard. I normally use medium. It's just that I'm out of my medium. I will link the website. I get it on Amazon. I'll link it below on where I get my medium chipboard. It's fairly inexpensive. I think I want to say you get like 20 or 25 pieces, and I want to say maybe $10, $11. I'm not sure, but I will link it below. This happens to be heavy, and it still will go through my cutter, my Fiskars cutter here. I'll show you how I cut it and everything. But you're going to need chipboard as well as cardstock. You can use 8.5 by 11. I happen to want to make this one a black one, and I only have 12 by 12, so that's what I'm going to be using, and it's pretty good. I think this is 110. This is pretty heavy cardstock. I got it at Michael's, and so I'm going to be using that. You're going to need scoreboard, bone folder, cutting board, tape. I have different sizes here. I think this is like a 1/4 inch here. And what is this one here? Is it a 1/2 inch? 3/4. That's 3/4 inch. That's really probably too big. And I usually have a 1/2 inch. It's in here somewhere. Anyway, but I will definitely be using the 1/4 inch because this is the size I need, or even maybe 1/8 of an inch. I might need. Here's my 1/8 of an inch, which is very helpful for the hinge. Okay, so we'll keep those handy. We're gonna cut some stuff first. Okay, the first thing we're gonna determine is create is the hinge. Okay, that's what's gonna hold your pages in your book. And the first thing you need to figure out is, well, what size pages am I gonna have? Well, my book cover, I've decided, is going to be 5 by 5 inches. Okay, therefore I want my pages 4.5 by 4.5. Okay, my hinge is always going to be about 1/8 inch shorter than my page. Okay, therefore the hinge will not stick out above your pages, if that makes sense. Okay, so so we've got our paper cut. I used a 12 by 12, so it's 12 inches long. I cut it so that it will, the height-wise will only be 1/8 of an inch shorter than the book pages. Okay, my book pages are going to be 4.5. So I cut my height of my spine, or my hinges is going to be at 4 3/8. Okay, Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to create the score marks for our hinges, okay? The first score mark will always be the same. It's going to start off at 1 3/4. Okay? That is actually not a hinge. That is going to be the part that's going to be scored, and it will be the part that's going to attach to the front and back covers. Okay, you'll have one of those there and one of those here. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to score the marks for the hinges. Okay, my hinges are always going to be 1/2 inch increments. So this is the sequence you're going to use from here on out. It's going to be 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and then 3/8 inch. The 3/8 inch is actually the part that's going to be between the hinges, okay, so that you have a little separation. That enables me to add embellishments and gives me a little bit of wiggle room in there so that my hinges aren't so close together. If you are one that really likes a chunky mini album, you can go with 1/2 inch in between your hinges. So you go 1/2, 1/2, 1/2. That would be your sequence. And then 1/2, 1/2, 1/2 would be your sequence again. That would enable you to be able to add a lot of chipboard and flowers and all kinds of goodies in there, okay? But I'm going with 1/2, 1/2, and 3/8 on mine, okay? So I'm at 1 3/4. So one more 1/2 inch is going to give me at 2 1/4, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and score it. Another 1/2 inch is going to be at 2 3/4. Okay, now I'm going to go at 3/8, which is going to be at 3 1/8. If you want to know if you're using a Martha Stewart scoreboard, each mark up here, the little blue marks and everything else, each tick mark there is 1/8 of an inch, so that kind of gives you an idea. Okay, so we've got 1 3/4, then we've got 2 1/4, then we've got 2 3/4, then we got 3 1/8. That's our 1/2, 1/2, and a 3/8. Okay, now let's do a 1/2, which is going to be 1 2 3 4, which is 4 5/8. I'm sorry, 3 5/8. And if I can stay in my little grooves here, I don't know why I have the hardest time. Do any of you have a hard time scoring with? I always have a hard time with my scoreboard. The next one's going to be 4 1/8. It's going to be another 1/2 inch. Okay, then 1 2 3 is 3/8. It's 4 at 4 1/2. Okay, so then we're going to do another 1/2. So it's 1 2 3 1/2 inch. 1 2 3 4 1/2 inch. 1 2 3. Ooh, okay. Come on, stay with me. Leaves me at 10. Yes, so let's see. We got 1/2, 1/2, 3/8. That's one page. 1/2, 1/2, 3/8. 1/2, 1/2, 3/8. 1/2, 1/2, 3/8. 1/2, 1/2, 3/8. 1/2, 1/2, 3/8. 6. Okay, so right now it left me at 10. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of like a 1/2 inch of this just because it's a little bit long. You know what? I'm not even gonna do that. I'm gonna leave it. It's not even gonna bother me. This is a little bit longer than this 1 3/4 over here. So I'm just gonna leave it. It's not a big deal. Those things don't necessarily bother me. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and we're gonna add our score tape, and I'm using, I think this is a 1/4. Yes, this is a 1/4 inch, and I like that because it's not too thick. Okay, and it won't go over your score lines or anything. So if you can see here is your 1 3/4 area. The first one is going to be 1/2, 1/2, 3/8. We're going to put score tape on the first 1/2, okay? Right there, and it's gonna be almost to the bottom, towards the bottom of the score mark, okay? Not on it, but close to it, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and add that. And then we're gonna skip, and put another one on the beginning of the next hinge, okay? Towards the bottom of the hinge, okay? Okay, be sure to burnish down your score tape so it's easy to remove, okay? Okay, get your pick, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to skip the first score line. Go to the second line, and you're going to burnish that, okay? Then we're going to remove the score tape, and we're gonna stick that down, okay? Make sense? All right? Okay, so after you do that and you connect them, then you turn it over, and there's your first hinge. Very simple, okay? Let's flip it over. Now, burnish it rather. Burnish it. And remove your score tape. And fold it down. Bend it down. There we go. And we remove our tape. Okay, and then this. And this is actually going to, these are the two parts that are going to connect to your covers. After you get your hinges all burnished and everything and folded and everything, you need to really manipulate these hinges, okay? Really work them so that they will lay flat for you. Okay, so bend them and just work them, okay? That's why I like this heavyweight cardstock, because it really does well. It holds up. Okay, so you're gonna move these back and forth and just really work them so that when you do get your pages in here, they can lay very nicely, okay? Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add score tape to the back so that we can get this added to our cover. And I flip it over, okay? And once again, I get out my score tape, and I said I used 1/4 inch. I like 1/4 inch. It works especially good on the 3/8 inch space in between each page. It's a good amount, okay? And you're gonna put this on in between each score mark, not getting it on your score mark though, okay? I mean, not getting it on actually the score mark, but in between, okay? Okay, so the next thing you want to do is after you get all of your adhesive on, we want to measure how wide is our spine going to be, our chipboard. So what you want to do is you want to bend these two back, okay, because these are going to be attached to your front and back cover, so that all you're measuring is your hinges, okay? And you want to measure this. And mine is measuring 2 1/4, okay? So you don't want it any smaller than 2 1/4. It can be 2 1/4, but I always like to go a little bit larger. So I'm actually going to go 2 3/4. Okay, I'm going to give it a 1/2 inch, like a 1/4 inch on either side. So I'm going to do a 2 3/4 inch wide chipboard. So it's going to be and then of course my book is going to be 5 by 5, so I'm making it 5 inches in length. Now let's go ahead and let's create the front, back, and the middle portion of your cover, okay? So I want my book cover to be 5 by 5, okay? So I'm going to cut 5 inches. Then I want to do 5 by 5. Okay, so after measuring out how long these are, or how high they are, okay, and they are 5, okay, and I want to add a 1/2 inch. You can add an inch, whatever you'd like. I added a 1/2 inch on either side. So this is 5 and 1/2 is 5 1/2, and another 1/2 is 6. So I took 2 pieces of my 12 by 12 and cut it in half, okay? And now I'm going to adhere these together so that I have room on either side also, okay? So let's go ahead and let's connect these. Let's add our tape to it. Okay, so I've got all of my pieces and I've got all of the adhesive on. Go ahead and burnish it real good, and then we're going to adhere it to our black cardstock. Doing the spine first so that we get it right in the middle. Go ahead and let's cut this off, the excess on the ends, and I'm going to just leave it like a 1/2 inch. sure the hinge is right in the middle. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the middle first, actually, so that we can get it centered perfectly. Okay, so here's your center of your spine. Okay, and we want to center that right in the middle. Okay. Oops. Okay. Like I said, there are so many of these tutorials around. You might find another one that is just suits your style better. And but I did have a lot of requests for this, so I thought, you know, for some of the subscribers that have asked me about it. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and burnish this. Burnish this. And that's exactly how you make your cover and your hinges. And now your pages will just go inserted right over the top of these right here. And you'll have your little mini album, and it's just as easy as can be. Okay, and there you go. It's all done. Ready to embellish and put your really cute decorator paper on. And I hope this was of use to you and that you'll give it a try. And thank you so much for taking the time to sit back and watch my video. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.